Hey guys, it's Hogan here, and in this video I want to show you guys how to set up your website on Cloudways. So it's going to be a complete step-by-step tutorial showing you guys which server to select for your website and your needs, and then I'll show you guys how to install WordPress as well as migrate your existing website onto Cloudways. Now the best thing about Cloudways is that you don't have to take your existing website offline. If you want to move your website over, you can move it over and then you can try it out on their test domain. So if you do like it, then you can connect your domain with Cloudways, which I'll show you how to do that, add your SSL certificate, and I'll show you everything that you need to know in this video. So basically, for those of you who are not sure what Cloudways is, they are essentially just a managed cloud hosting platform. Now I do have a review video which I will make and I'll link in the description below, but in short, they are a platform that connects us to some of the major cloud infrastructures out there. For example, DigitalOcean, AWS, which is Amazon's cloud hosting service. You've also got Vultr, Google Cloud, as well as Linode. So it gives us access to really high-powered hosting in a really easy to navigate interface that anyone can use, and the plans start from around $10 per month. So I'm personally hosting my website on there as well. If you do want more information, I'll leave the review link in the description below, which compares a little bit more about the product. But what I do recommend is probably just watching this video through, so then you can see like what the dashboard looks like and things like that. So to actually get started with Cloudways, you can click the link down below to get access to the free trial, or you can just go to cloudways.com. And over here, you can click on get started for free. Okay, so on this page, you can just fill in your details. For example, like your first name, your last name, your email, and your password. And then over here, just choose whichever is relevant to you. So for example, digital agency, monthly hosting budget is 0 to 50. And then for the promo code, you can use, I think, Hogan, so Hogan, and that's going to save you 20% for the first 3 months if you do decide to sign up after the free trial. You can also sign up using your Google account or your LinkedIn account. Once you're ready, you can click on I agree and click on start free. So I've already got several accounts with Cloudways, so I'm going to click on start free again. But after that, once you click on that, they'll send you an activation email, which you'll need to click on the link to activate your account. Sometimes you may need to provide a little bit more details if you've sort of signed up with them before. They might track your IP address and things like that. However, most of the time you should be good to go. And I'm just going to log into my account and show you guys where to go from there. Okay, so we're inside the dashboard of my Cloudways account. So I know it does look a little bit intimidating, but really it's not. It does look different from like traditional shared hosting platforms or other hosting platforms out there, mainly because with Cloudways, you get to select your server. With other hosting companies, the server is sort of pre-selected. So with Cloudways, you can select the servers from like different companies, as well as different size of the server, as well as different location, right? So this is really good, especially if you're like a web agency. You can have multiple servers where you can group your specific clients from different geographical areas into one server. That would mean that the loading time for them, it's going to be really good, because with other hosting companies, you sort of just get one server. Sometimes that server location might be like in the United States, but then you might have like a client in Australia. Then if you're hosting their website in the United States, it's sort of going to load slowly, because the distance for that data to travel, right, from that server to for your customer's computer, it's going to be really fast. So it's going to be slow, right? So here you can set up multiple. So that's really, really beneficial. So if you have just like one website, then it's really simple. Just click on add server over here. Select your application. So in this case, we're going to install WordPress. So we're just going to select the top one, the default one. If you are migrating a WooCommerce website, you can still select this one, because when you transfer, it transfers all the plugins together as well. So just name your app. So it's going to be website name, and then manage server name. So it could be like the company that you choose. So it could be like name of server, and maybe the location that you've chosen. And over here, you can select and create a project. So if you have multiple clients, you want to manage them, you can manage them by clicking projects over here. So scrolling down over here, you have 5 different infrastructures to choose from. So the real question is like, which one should you choose? Like, which one is better? Which one is good for your needs? So the first question to ask is like, are you creating a mission critical website that can't have any downtime whatsoever, right? Because if you are creating like a mission critical website for you or your client, that any downtime caused is going to be like thousands of dollars lost, then I would choose between AWS and Google Cloud. They are a little bit, number one, more expensive, number two, a little bit more reliable, but number three, the main difference is going to be you're able to scale up your resources if you do need. For example, if you get more traffic, you do need to scale up, but you can also scale down automatically without any downtime. So for example, let's say if you choose like the small server, then the small server, it can handle around 130,000 page views per month, okay? And for example, in Q4, you might get 300,000 page views. So you might need to upgrade to the medium server, okay? But maybe Q1, the traffic drops down, then you might want to downgrade again to the small server, right? So the difference is like $86 and the small one is $36. So you're going to be saving a lot of money. And when you scale down, it doesn't cause any downtime. Whereas these ones, Vultr, Linode, and DigitalOcean, you can scale up automatically if you do need more resources because you get more traffic. But if you want to scale down your resources, then you have to clone your server and update your IP address. So what that basically means is that it's going to cause like 15-20 minutes downtime because you need to clone the server and change your IP. So for that IP to update, it's going to take time for it to propagate or for it to go live, right? And that's going to cause the downtime, okay? So that's the like main difference. Now, in terms of like website performance, there's not too much difference between these ones. These ones just like 5% faster. If I were to choose between AWS or Google, I would go with AWS, mainly because I've done like intensive tests with all these ones in a separate video, which I'll link below if you guys want to watch that. Now, these ones are also really good as well. Like compared to like regular shared hosting, these ones are like super fast and they are, more than capable. But again, these ones for mission critical websites. If I were to choose between these three, then first of all, Vultr high frequency is probably going to be like the most highest performance. For the 1 GB plan, it starts from $13 per month, right? And you're probably wondering, like how much traffic can it handle? It can handle around 70,000 page views per month. So you can host multiple websites on that one server. So you can have multiple clients on that one server. If you go over like 70,000 page views, then the sort of like the performance might start degrading, and then you might need to scale up into the 2 GB server. Okay, so the second choice might be for DigitalOcean. They do have two different servers as well. The standard one, which starts at $10, and then the premium droplets, which have the newest hardware, is around 20% more. Okay, so Linode is also really good as well. And another thing I would probably consider is, let's say if you choose DigitalOcean, is you want to consider your location of your server. So with DigitalOcean, they don't have a server location in Australia. So if I'm creating like a server for myself, like a small business in Australia, then I might choose Vultr, high frequency over here. And then I might choose 1 GB RAM. And then for the location, they do have one in Sydney, okay? Because the closer the server to your customers, the better. Therefore, the data, doesn't need to travel such a big distance, and it's going to load faster, okay? And the other thing I want to mention is that if you do choose 2 GB or more, you do get access to the Object Cache Pro for enhanced performance. So it's like a more advanced caching sort of plugin. They're partnered up with the Object Cache Pro team to actually include that within the service. Okay, so for enhanced performance. So that is pretty much it. So let's say, for example, I choose the Vultr high frequency. I'm going to choose the 1 GB plan, and then I'm going to select maybe Los Angeles, and then I'm going to click on launch now. Okay, so launching your server is going to take like 5 to 10 minutes for that to set up, and then I'll show you guys how to log into your WordPress application and also migrate your website and things like that. Okay, so once your server is set up, then it's really easy to access your WordPress website. So on your homepage, you'll see your servers, and this is the one that we just created. So you can click on the www, right? And then just click on your application that you just created. And with Cloudways, they have the test domain. So you can just click on that to log into your WordPress installation, and then just copy your username and password to log in. So it's really, really simple. You don't have to like purchase a domain yet. You can purchase that a little bit later. So copy your password, paste that in, and then log into your WordPress dashboard. So you can start building out your WordPress websites in the next 3 days. And then you can purchase your domain name from like Namecheap or GoDaddy, or you can transfer your existing website, which I'll show you in a second. And then, yeah, it's pretty much good to go. So you can try it out and click, different parts of your WordPress website, and you can see how fast it is compared to like regular shared hosting. So let's go back over here to your Cloudways platform. Then we can go back to our server by clicking over here, right? This server little icon over here. And that's going to take you to the server management for this specific server. Okay, so here you can scale your website if you need more resources. You can also do on-demand backups and other things like changing your PHP and things like that. So I'm not going to go too much detail into that. So let's say, for example, you want to move your existing website, for example, this website, over to your new WordPress installation on the Cloudways. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. So go to your old website and log in. So I'm just going to log into this website over here that we're going to transfer over. So the best thing about it is because Cloudways gives you a test domain, so you can actually try out your website before actually moving your live website over, right? So it's like really, really amazing. So let's just log in first. So you can also request a free migration from Cloudways if you want to as well. So just go over here, click on Need a Hand, and ask them to migrate your website. I think you get 1 free migration. So you can do that if you do have like an advanced sort of website, but it's fairly simple if you have a basic WordPress installation. Go back over here, and then what we need to do is install a plugin. So Cloudways has actually created a plugin for us. So click on plugins. And then we're going to click on add new. Okay, click on add new up here. And then we're going to search for the Cloudways migrator. So type in Cloudways over here and it should show up. So it's this one over here, Cloudways WordPress Migrator. Click on install and then click on activate. So once you're done, then what we're going to do is just put in your email address over here. Oops. And then I agree. Let's click on migrate. So here we're going to put in the destination URL. So where do you want to move it to? So we're going to move it to the new application on Cloudways. So you can click on the website name over here. This is going to be the URL, right? So you can just pull the URL from here like that. So we just copy that. We don't need the WP admin or anything like that, just like from the .com. And then copy that and paste that in, okay? And for the SFTP host server address, the IP address, let's go back over here and you're going to get it over here, the public IP. So copy that and let's paste that into here. The database name, let's go back over here. This is going to be the database name, the DB name. So copy that and paste that in. The SFTP username. So what we're going to do here is you're going to need the server. So let's go back to that server. Okay. And then this is going to be the SFTP username and also the password, right? So copy over username. So paste that in. And then the password, copy that, and then come back over here and then paste that in. So this one is your sort of website password protected. So most likely probably not because you just installed it. If it is, then select yes. So for the source site information, this is basically your current website. So your old or existing website. It is basically asking, do you want to migrate any of your other root directories? So when you actually install WordPress, it installs into like the default WordPress folders. If you have any other folders, you might want to sort of migrate over as well, right? So you may click yes, and then you can select the ones that aren't the default WordPress ones, right? So in this case, mine's just going to be no. And this is asking, is your current website like password protected? If it is yes, then you need to select yes and then provide the credentials. So that is pretty much it. And then what you need to do is just click on migrate. Okay, so right now the website is being migrated to Cloudways. Generally it shouldn't take too long. Hopefully I'm gonna come back in around 15 to 20 minutes. It's probably dependent on the size of your website though. So yeah, so just watch out and then come back, and then hopefully it should be good to go, and I'll show you, what to do next. Okay, so that did take a little bit longer than expected, but our migration is complete. So we have successfully moved our existing website, which is basically still online if we click on it, and then we've moved it to our staging or test URL on Cloudways, and let's click on that one. So as you can see, there it is, and this is our existing one, which is still online and your customers can still access. So over here, we're gonna log into this account. So generally when you actually transfer it over, it's going to take the username and password from this old domain. So not the password and the username from the Cloudways one, which the Cloudways setup actually gives, but it's gonna be the one that you set in for your old domain. So, okay, click on login. And then we have login. So over here, we're going to just navigate our website and see if everything is okay. If everything works fine, you can also go and visit site, and maybe perhaps you could do like a speed test, and you can check out the speed on tools.pingdom.com. Just paste in the URL, and let's just test the speed in, let's say, San Francisco, and then we do start test. So while that is actually testing, so if we want to get our old domain, for example, this one over here, you need to navigate to your domain registrar of where you actually purchased this domain. It could be like your web host, or it could be like from Namecheap, or it could be from GoDaddy or anywhere like that. So for example, if you don't have a domain name already, you can't purchase it on Cloudways. You have to go to somewhere like, for example, Namecheap. So just go to namecheap.com. I really like it because Namecheap, they offer free domain privacy for life. So here you can just search for a domain name. So for example, like, test store 123, click on search. And then here you can purchase a domain name. It's normally really, really affordable. So test store 123, sometimes it may not be available, then you have to be a little bit more creative. Or you can purchase one with a different extension, for example, this one. Okay, so if I've already purchased one, so once you've actually purchased one, you can go over here to your domains list and click into manage that domain. Okay, and then we need to click on advanced DNS. So with GoDaddy, it's fairly similar as well. You have to go manage that domain name and find where you can manage the DNS settings. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to connect this domain to our Cloudways server accounts. So how we do that is we go back over here. Okay, so what we need to do is just get this IP address. So copy the IP. And actually before we do that, let's go to domain management. And here for the primary domain, we're going to enter our new domain that we purchased from Namecheap. So let's go over here, copy that, and let's just paste in our primary domain and then click on save changes. Okay, so that is updating. And as you can see, the speed is really, really good. This is like without any sort of optimization or anything like that. It's just how fast it is, under 1 second. So you can also try out other places as well. Let's say, for example, it's going to load pretty quickly for sort of all locations without a CDN. So paste that in like that. And let's try maybe Washington, DC, start test. Okay, so that is still updating. So what we need to do is we can go back over here, okay? And we need to add in the A record. So what we need to do is click on add new record and A record. So for the host here, we're gonna put @ and this is gonna be your IP address from Cloudways over here. Okay, so once that is added, then we can go to our server, click on that server icon over here, copy the IP address, go back over here, oops, and then let's paste that IP address in there. So for the TTL, normally I just set it to 1 minute, and let's just save it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add another A record, and this one's going to be www, and then this one's going to be the same IP, set it to 1 minute, and save the changes. So generally that's it. If you do have like a subdomain, for example, let's say for example it is, so for example this is a subdomain, okay, so it has the WordPress and the numbers .cloudwaysapp.com. For example, a subdomain might be like shop.demoparallax. Then you need to go back over here and add that subdomain in the host. Okay, so you can also go to the support documents on Cloudways where they actually show you guys step by step how to do that as well. You can search that up by clicking on need a hand. You can search for creating a record, okay, and then you can go through that document and add that in if you do have like a subdomain. Okay, so let's just go back over here, and what we're gonna do is, so once that is actually connected, then before we do anything, then what we need to do is we need to go to our domain name. So let's just go to our domain name over here, copy that, and we can go to a website called whatsmydns.net and then paste in that URL, okay, and then select a record here and click on search. So what that is going to do is it's basically going to check whether or not that IP address has propagated onto your domain name. So as you can see, for some of the locations it has been picked up already. So what we want to do is probably wait like 15 to 20 minutes for that to all propagate all around the world. Sometimes maybe 1 or 2 might not propagate, and that's fine. But before we actually add in our SSL certificate, we need to wait. So let's just say, for example, let's just go back over here to application and then click on SSL certificate. Okay, so your SSL certificate is going to be this padlock icon over here that we need. So right now it doesn't have it. Once we add it on, then you'll have that lock. So that is really, really important. We're just going to wait for like 15 minutes and then come back. Okay, so right now we can do like another search to see whether or not that IP address has propagated. Okay, so most of them is done. So what we're going to do now is go back to your Cloudways account and navigate to the SSL certificate for your application. And over here, put in your email address and then put in your domain name. So for example, I'm just going to copy it from here. Copy that and paste that in. So you can apply the wildcard, which essentially adds the SSL on all your subdomains as well, but it does take a few extra steps. You can follow this article over here, which I'll link in the description below. So I'm just going to install on my main domain, and I'm going to click on install certificate. Okay, so after a few minutes, the SSL certificate has successfully installed onto our new domain name. So let's go back over here and let's just navigate to our URL. So as you can see, that padlock icon has been applied, and over here, let's try and just log in. So this one is going to be, click on login. Okay, so everything looks good. You can do some additional testing, but your website should be functioning fine right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this specific tutorial. The next video that I'm going to make is I'm going to show you guys how to set up your emails as well as the transactional emails on Cloudways. Because Cloudways doesn't actually include the emails for free, it does cost an extra $1 per month for an inbox. You can click on the add-ons, and they've actually partnered up with Rackspace for it. It's fairly simple to set up, which I'll show you in the next tutorial. So if you have any questions, drop it in the comment section down below. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and thank you, and see you guys in the next video.